Welcome and hello. Your potential exists much like this pond back here. At one time, it was unrealized potential. It just sat as a pond. Then an observer came forward, was able to see that pond so differently. They saw the potential of a mill there. And that's how it really works. Most of us look through a little pea shooter, and that defines the potential we see of ourselves. And we don't look and see a much grander view. And that's because the observer hasn't woken up, and you haven't been able to see what you haven't been able to see. In this work, what you're going to learn how to do is to take that hidden potential, just like you in that pond, and to be able to realize it through developing an observer that sees things differently. And it allows you to take that potential and to manifest a very different reality. Because ultimately, the one thing you learn in quantum mechanics is that all reality is observer generated. What we want to do is change the observer that you view life through so that the potential, the raw potential, can be turned into a very different reality, a very different self, a very different construction of the self. And that's where we're going. What actually stops you from achieving your highest potential? You know you can sense it. You know it's there. You can feel it out there, but somehow, no matter how much you strive, no matter how much you push, no matter how much you look, it stays a little further away from you. And the real question is, why? What happens? It's not like you don't work. It's really more about like you're missing something. And what we're here to talk about is what that something that you're missing is. Okay? Now, a lot of people in their own personal development program, they study a lot. They study a lot of different teachers. They get it on, and everybody's familiar with training the subconscious, visualization, affirmations, all that stuff. And what you discover is that you go to workshops, you do this work, you get cranked up, you're ready, you feel it, you feel that power in you. And you can do wonderful things in that moment. Then later, as you're back at home in your everyday world, all that stuff seems to just fall down. And all of a sudden, you find yourself back where you were, and you need a new fix. The key, though, in here, is that people don't understand what's missing. There's a missing piece here. The missing piece is your understanding of the primitive emotional brain and its impact on the direction of your life, on literally what the patterns are that you keep doing over and over again. This is the piece that's so missing all the time. Why is it important? Your emotional brain produces limbic learnings that become deep-seated emotional beliefs about your capacity to manage the challenges of living. A little visualization, a little affirmation, a little changing the subconscious material is not going to cut the bill. It's actually figured out a way to get you to survive where you have this potential. You started as potential, and you started as kind of like this nebulous observer of that potential. And as you begin to wake up, that observer started shaping the potential of who you are into a human being. And therein lies the problem. You weren't around, and the more you push against this primitive brain, the more it pushes back. And so the key is what we have to learn if we want to truly get at the depth of our hidden potential. We have to say, what is it that actually stops us, and how do we go around working it? And what you're going to discover in my programs is that we're really all about learning how to really use emotions and to understand them very differently, because emotions are the aftermath of your brain organizing you as a pattern to respond to the environmental challenges of living. Okay? And the human being is based on fear. And it cannot see what it can't see. That's why when you hit that glass ceiling, you go, I don't understand it. I'm working hard, I'm striving, I'm doing all the hard work. Why isn't this change permanent? Why do I get to the level and then bumping it again? Well, that's your limbic system, your emotional brain, having created kind of a safe place for you, okay, where it's all cool and everything like that. But the moment that you try to get beyond that comfort zone, it kicks in and pulls you back in. That's just your evolutionary psychology. That's just not what you learned in your family of origin about your beliefs about who you are. And this is the piece that we have to look at. It's the piece we have to go, how do we reshape this emotional brain that has so much power over how we adapt to the challenges of our life? That's what this work is about. Understand this. Your potential, okay? That massive, undifferentiated potential that you're born as is shaped by your emotional brain into patterns. And once they're shaped into patterns, those patterns, as habits, they start defining your life. They start producing your destiny. Whether or not it's in love, it's in creativity, whether or not it's in competition, whether or not it's in creativity, whether or not it's in groups and businesses. That's the whole point. If you've ever seen a person having a hard time giving a speech, going there and really choking up, you're looking at a limbic belief manifesting in that moment of performance, and it's holding him back. He's at that course to learn to break through that. If he begins to learn the nature of that emotion and the deep-seated belief behind it and how it came to be, he has a far better way of beginning to say, you know something? Not only can I begin to understand it as emotions basically building the way I think and perceive the world, but I can actually change the nature of those emotions as they respond to uncertainty, the challenges of living. And this is where it gets really interesting, because we're built to manifest a much more powerful, different shape of that potential if we're willing to do the work and have the insight. This work is about how-to. We all know that, yeah, you got to have it together and all of that. But, how do you build that mind when you see it backfiring on you all the time? It's just like thinking, well, I can go on a special diet and lose weight and everything's going to be great. Then you find out you get all the weight back. That's the limbic pattern. We want to get the behavior, the pattern, at the very core of the emotional creation that holds you in that prison of the self that you are right now. Because there is so much more. So much more. And friends, what I ask of you is to really explore this site and start looking and seeing what more there is to you. It's there. It would be in plain sight, but the problem is when these limbic patterns take hold, they become so familiar that you would not even see them sitting there smacking you in the face. This is about learning those patterns, about how it happened, and to transform those patterns and understand the brain's just doing its job. You have to help it. You have to understand how that limbic system works so that you can get the brain to re-understand what the emotion response is and to take the beliefs about who you are and change them at the very core. Not the ones you say you have, but the ones that are revealed in performance. That's the big ones, friends. And there, what we do is I'm inviting you to take a look at this website, take a look at the YouTube channel, and begin to see, oh, I get it now. Randy's work is about how to do this. It's the missing piece that's missing in a lot of the self-development work. And you get at the very core of the mechanics of how you create the potential that you are into a particular self. You happened upon the first one, you fell into it. And now you're at a place where exploring, you can actually find a way to create the self, to create your own destiny, about how you live your life, about where you take that life, how you engage the challenges of your life. Friends, explore. Please find out what you've been missing and how to open that cage and to step out of it and to feel the glory of what you were built to be. Thank you.